The breathtaking vista of Ballymastocre Beach stretching back to Port Salon provided the golden backdrop to a weekend sport hosted by the Donegal Motor Club on the Knockalla Hillclimb. This challenging strip of tarmac had attracted a number of local and Northern Ireland competitors to join the Alekto Irish Hillclimb and Sprint Championship regulars. David Kane was the leader of this pack, with his space-framed silhouette car outpacing even the single-seaters to win the event outright. Chris Fair had a look at David's car for us on Sunday morning.
This is Dave Kane, brother of the famous Stephen Kane, who raced Formula 3 and then went on with Malcolm Wilson's team to race Bentleys all around the continent. There's a difference in note between this car and of Aaron Beattie and then this one of Dave Kane. This is confusingly called a silver car, but rather annoyingly it's blue, and the note of this car just dances off the hills and reverberates in a town situation. This note is absolutely amazing. We are on the shores of beautiful Lough Swilly, and you can hear this car on the far side of the lough. It's no exaggeration. This is an amazing piece of kit. It not only looks well, it changes direction well. The brakes on this car are absolutely phenomenal. It was no surprise to see this being the outright winner ahead of all the single-seaters yesterday. This is some car.
Reigning Irish Hillclimb champion Chris Houston has had limited appearances this year. If he'd managed to shake off the cobwebs a little earlier, he might just have upheld single-seater honour. He was second on Saturday. Another run had been expected in the afternoon, and Chris has a reputation for late charges. We found him Sunday morning in consultation with Thomas Corrie, who we understand has been doing some movie work recently in the UK.
Here is Chris Houston, and if I'm not mistaken, this is Brad Pitt beside him. Then this is Thomas Corrie. This is Chris Houston there. Anything different today, guys? Do it a bit earlier?
Do it earlier, yeah. Don't leave it to the last run. I think that's got to be the answer.
Yes. Thomas, you had a class win yesterday.
Yeah, what's John Mahon's discussed? John broke down, so I got the class. So,
can you do it again? Are you in the groove?
Well, I was loosening his chain there a while ago, so hopefully it'll save my work for me today again.
Brendan Flynn was another visitor to this championship, bringing his 2-litre Duratec carbon-tubbed Megapin to Knockalla for the first time, recording a podium third-place finish on Saturday. We caught up with him preparing for day 2.
Brendan, first time here at Knockalla?
Yep, first time at Knockalla. Fantastic location, great scenery, very friendly.
And you had a good run yesterday yourself?
Yeah, we had a good day yesterday. Surprised ourselves. Managed to get third overall, which was a bit of a surprise. So great day.
Tyres the limiting factor for you. They've a bit of history.
Yeah, I have to thank Graham Thompson, who's multiple Northern Ireland Hillclimb champion, for the tyres off his 2019 winning car. So they're past their best.
Shane Bell arrived in Donegal just 1 point behind Brian Kerwin in the overall saloon championship battle. 4th overall and fastest saloon Saturday, then 8th overall Sunday, but with maximum championship points again, he'll find himself leading heading to Sligo. He finished just ahead of Gerard O'Connell's lightweight Mark 1 Escort, which was 5th overall on both days. Frank Burns had a tough day in the 5-litre Pilbeam MP45, recording just 1 time. He told us his story and how he's raising awareness for a great cause.
So I'm here with young Harry and Frank Burns. Frank from the west, Oranmore.
Correct.
County Galway this time. And this is the return of Frank. The car been off the road since
Early last year. Just did 2 events last year and then pulled the car asunder.
Yes.
So this was first event
gearbox
back.
rebuild?
Gearbox and engine rebuild, yeah. Engine rebuild. So
uprights and everything were tested.
Everything's pulled asunder, yeah. Yes. It was in 2 weeks ago. It was in 1,000 pieces in the garage floor. So I mean, it was great to get it back together and get it running yesterday.
The thing I love about this car is there's no traction control. It's so old style. It's all the grunt of a Rover V8. It's just got that nostalgic yet very relevant. Traction and everything is just right for Ireland in this car.
Yeah, it's total nuts and bolts, totally old school, like you built in the early 80s by Mike Pilbeam in the UK, and it's just nuts and bolts. Yeah, and it's all mechanical traction, and of course the V8 adds buckets of torque. So
I'll tell you what I did notice was new on the car. I noticed this sticker. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
yes, this is rallying for Down syndrome, and my mechanic for years, Dave Mannion, his little daughter Ruby has Down syndrome, and Dave is bringing Down syndrome awareness into the rally world. You know, so most of the cars on the national, international rally scene would now carry rallying for Down syndrome awareness. And it's very close to our heart, of course, for little Ruby, and it's about making awareness for
There's no money involved, but everybody seems to know somebody who has this within the wider family. There, it's hugely relevant. Well done.
Yeah, it's very important for the mums and the dads who have
Yes.
children on Down syndrome, and they're building the future for their kids.
Yes.
And yeah, it's share it, and it's on social media, you know, and we're doing a little bit to give back, you know.
Unfortunately, Sunday didn't go well for Frank either, having to call it a day on run 1, with further mechanical gremlins. We look forward to seeing this car on full song again soon. Catherine Donnelly has finally got her hands on her dad's 2.5 litre MP52 Pilbeam, and she got down to within half a second of multiple Hillclimb champion Burns' time over the day. Chris Nelson was double driving another of the very impressive silhouette cars. One recorded time was good enough for 8th overall and 2nd in Class 3C the first day. With a full complement of times the second day, he made 6th overall. Gary McAvoy might have been one of the few people hoping for rain in Donegal this weekend with the 4-wheel drive Fiesta R5 rally car. He popped and banged his way to 9th overall and 1st in Class 14 on Saturday. Irish Hillclimb and Sprint Championship leader Russell Stanworth is looking for steady finishes to secure the title, and he completed the top 10 in the Reynard Opel Lotus the first day and was 11th next. He just kept Ben O'Brien at bay on Saturday. Ben is sure to become a contender in future with the ex-Sylvie Mullins Gould when he gets a bit more mileage in the car on closed roads. Aaron Beattie was 3rd in Class 3C and 12th overall in the Speed Car GTR. He would climb to 2nd in the class and 7th overall Sunday. Mac Walsh won Class 16 both days and made 9th overall Sunday, giving it loads in the Escort Mark II at the top hairpin. Damien Gallagher, sharing that car, was 2nd in the class each time and made 10th overall Sunday. Roy Baldrick's cunning plan for the lower hairpin paid off for 2 third places in the Talbot Sunbeam. Ed Sinan won Class 17 in his Mark II Escort, but was being held off in 2nd Sunday when a spin very unfortunately led to him losing a wheel dramatically in a culvert. Richard Mulholland had been 2nd the day before, was in flamboyant form taking the class win in the Toyota Starlet. Michael Boyle kept it tidy in his Escort for 3rd in the class each day. Tommy Gardner won Class 3A the first day, holding off Brian Kerwin with the Honda Civic. Brian took the win the second day in the rear-wheel drive Peugeot 205. 3rd each time was Timothy Duggan in a Seat Ibiza. In the same position each day in Class 3B was Damien Walsh in the SHP Wildcat, collecting points for 2nd. Thomas Corey won Class 6 in the Reynard SF80, beating John Mahan, who first had a broken drive chain and then was very lucky to stay on the road when a rose joint failed.
Oh, we had an eventful day. Trying to get used to the chicane, and then I had a few mechanical problems.
Yes, we're going to look straight away. Brand new rose joint on the car. Just gave way on the bumps.
Gave way on the bumps at the last chicane, or the last hairpin, sorry, and it just disconnected my drive.
Yes.
Just luckily nothing seriously damaged.
Lucky it happened. Lucky it happened at the slow part of the course. Then Then
Absolutely, if it was on the fast bit of the course, you'll be speaking about me, not to me. Yeah.
okay, John, you love this Knockalla Hill. There's a sort of completely different atmosphere about this one compared to the other ones. It's the coastal, it's the variety of competitors you get.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's a nice place to come. When it's fine, it's fabulous up here. Now, when it's wet, it's not so nice.
Making a welcome return to hill climbing after a number of years' absence was John McNamara in another mega pin.
This is kind of the first day out.
Right.
The car wasn't going so well all along during the year, and thanks to John Donnelly now we're up and going at long last. So get used to the car now and get used to hill climbing again. It's been a long time since I've been out, like, you know.
How long?
2009 since I was out.
It's as awful as you remember?
No. It's just a bit more crack now, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm not in the competitive end of it now.
Okay.
No.
It's a lovely, lovely car. You have it turned out very, very nicely. Have you had it long?
No, I bought it 2 years ago, and as I said, it was all little gremlins, but I give it to John and just give him the time and slowly does it with it, as you know.
Slowly get it right.
Yeah, and thanks to him, it's going lovely now.
Keith Scott in an OMS had been second Saturday, just held off Mahon on Sunday by over 0.2 of a second to win the class, while Corey was third. Dara Fay was customarily dominant with the Suzuki Swift in Class 1A and as high as 12th overall on Sunday. Ray Cunningham was second in the Mini and Elaine Kerwin was third. They all held the same positions on each day. Christopher Snow won Class 9B in the Honda Civic both days, while Alan Kane rejoiced in his favourite hill climb each day for second place in the G4 Escort. Declan Gannon was pushed very hard in the Fiesta by Richard Hall in the Porsche Saturday to win by just 7/10. Richard managed to get the power down on the road Sunday, however, to win the class by over 2 seconds then. JP Logue was second in Class 14 on day 1, but first in the class on day 2 in his Honda Civic. Gary Lockhart was third Saturday in a Mark II Escort. Shane Carr was second in a Vauxhall Nova on day 2, with Sean Herity third in a Toyota Corolla Twin Cam. Raymond Scott in his very flashy Mark II won Class 13 on Sunday, while Sam Stewart was second in his Toyota Starlet. John McClafferty, who'd won the class Saturday, was third in his Corolla Twin Cam. Brendan and Joseph Kelly were great competition for each other in Class 11 with the Peugeot 208 Rally 4 car. Brendan came out on top by just 0.03 of a second driving on Saturday only. Jack Harris and Angus Cahill also had a very competitive weekend. The order was the same both days, but Jack won Class 12 by just 0.04 Sunday in R2 Fiestas. Samuel Gordon was third in the class Sunday in a Nissan Micra. Michael Tumulty broke the domination of Civics in Class 2 in a Peugeot 106 on day 1. Chris Snow was second that day, but first on day 2 in his Honda. Thomas Sheedy was third both days in his Civic, with Ruth Nugent leapfrogging into second place the second day with her Mini. William Vance topped Class 15 on Saturday in his Mark I Escort ahead of Brian Gibbons' Civic. Brian turned the result around on Sunday. Mike Nugent was the fastest of the historics on scratch Saturday in his Lotus Elan from Mick O'Shea, who collected the win on Sunday in his MGB. It was the same story both days in the Cento class, with Billy White taking the wins. Quiva White was second, sharing the same Cento, despite a very strong effort from Johnny Murray, who led her initially on Sunday. Andy Purser took Class 8A both days in his Peugeot 205. Back at the head of the field on Sunday, Christopher Houston was winding up to put in another late charge again when he went off without personal harm at the first hairpin. John Donnelly had wrestled his daughter Catherine out of the Pilbeam to drive again himself on Sunday to take third overall, and David Kane had to give best back to the single-seaters with Brendan Flynn going 900ths faster than him in the megapin. A very successful trip to Donegal for him. It was a memorable weekend sport hosted by the Donegal Motor Club at Knockalla. The next rounds of the Alekto Irish Hillclimb and Sprint Championship will be run by the Connacht Motor Club on the 16th and 17th of September.